Today's special guest is Michael Falco, presiding officer of the Dickinson Little Italy Festival of Galveston County. So let's talk Dickinson Little Italy Festival 2026. Last time we were here, we talked about it. I didn't know much about it. You taught me a lot of its history and what you guys are doing. I've been to a meeting. I kind of see a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff, and there's a lot that goes on to putting this together. Give us an overview of 2026.
Wow. Okay. Well, 2026 planning for the Dickinson Little Italy Festival of Galveston County started, I want to say, in May of 2025. So as soon as the last festival ended in March last year, we took a small break. April took a month off. The board regathered and said what went well, what didn't go so well, where do we want to improve? And we kicked that can around for a good 2 or 3 hours. We convened the meeting. We published minutes of that meeting to our chair people and said, this is how we feel like we did. We're going to take another month or two off, and then we're going to come back. So literally in July, we came right back to it and started officially fully planning this year's festival. And I was, at that point, voted into office as the new presiding officer for the festival. Conchetta Maceo Sims was our presiding officer for the last 2 years, doing an amazing job. Looking into 2026, I had a little bit different vision, I guess, than what we've seen in the past. For the past 4 years, we've had very consistent entertainment. The music and some of our entertainers were the same. In 4 years, that can get a little stale. So we said, well, what can we do to change this a little bit and then maybe bring up the tempo a notch? So that was what I set out to do. And it's been a several month journey, but we've got an Italian rock band that's going to perform for us. They're an 80s cover band type rock and roll group. And they're all Italian, and they're going to sing in Italian. So it's going to be a different vibe. And we're going to put that show on at 1 o'clock, middle of the day, hopefully to inspire a lot of people to kind of just bring the tempo of the festival up. We've also got, on both ends of the spectrum, beginning of the day and the end of the day, we've got some country music stars. They're stars to us anyway. There are some local entertainers that one of them is a full band, and he'll be starting off the festival first thing in the morning. And then we've got a single soloist that'll be finishing at the end. In between that, we've got a violinist who we had out here 2 years ago that was a huge hit. Phenomenal artist, does a lot of contemporary music. And all around that, we've got a couple martial art demos that'll be conducted by Furia Martial Arts and by Premier Martial Arts. We've got an acrobatic show that's going to be doing multiple shows, aerial and on the ground. We've got a professional festival entertainer who's going to be walking around doing juggling and magic acts. We got face painters. We've got our standard stuff, the train that runs throughout the festival for all the little kids. Of course, here in the library, we've got children's activities that are, ranging from teaching them how to make a little pizza or some spaghetti sauce. With the hats and the little mustaches that were a huge hit last time, and again, face painters for the kids inside and out. We've got more vendors this year than we've had ever in the past. Typically, we've averaged between 18 and 23 vendors. This year, we've got almost 30. We're going to use more space here. Usually, all of our vendors were on the concrete, on the road, out front here, and we're going to move some stuff around. We're putting some of them on the grass that wanted and chose to be on the grass to take up a little more space. We've had about 12 food vendors in the past. This year we've got 14. And typically we've only had 1 or 2 that are kind of an Italian theme. It's hard to find an Italian food truck. They're just non-existent for the most part. But we did gain some success. We have 4 to 5 Italian food vendors, from cannoli to meatballs. I mean, we've got Italian sausage on a stick. We may have some pasta and pizzas. So the food is going to be amazing this year. And speaking of food, I got to highlight one guy, Joe Amata. He's a local guy, but he's Italian heritage. His family's been in this area forever. He's managing our VIP experience food-wise. We've got an amazing menu set up. He's actually taking bits and pieces of the cultural food delicacies from the north, central, and south Italy, and he's sharing them with us. And it's going to be an amazing experience for anybody that has a ticket into the VIP section. We've got desserts that are handmade, crafted by a Sicilian. Michaela is her name. She's amazing. I call her an artist when it comes to food, and she's providing some of those desserts. And in our family tent, which grows year over year over year, we've got 17 tables set up with 8 chairs each that are all family oriented. Those family tents are going to be packed. We're going to put some musicians in there to give them a little music throughout the day. But we're providing them with some amazing desserts by a personal friend of mine, Connie Thompson. She's doing some amazing little cup desserts that are almost like a combination of an Italian wedding cake design layered with some types of like a pudding almost of sorts, vanilla and chocolate and different flavors. But so overall, the experience is going to be completely different. The theme is going to be the same, but the feel is going to be a little different. It's a little more up-tempo, and we're trying to really stretch ourselves this year.
Okay, so let's break down a couple of things that you talked about. It sounds like it's going to be a great event. One, entertainment. We were talking a little bit before the interview here, and it seems like it's difficult to get a lot of cultural entertainment per culture. Now, I know we're not speaking for every culture, but in the Italian culture, talk about how hard it is to get those local sources.
Yeah, there are some really great Italian artists out there. We've had them here for the last several years. One of our primary musicians his health has gone down. Mm-hmm. So we had to take him off the schedule this year. The first time in the 7 years we've done this that this individual will not be part of our festival. Then it's a type of music. The Italian music itself, trying to find somebody that is skilled enough, has the voice to carry a Frank Sinatra, a Dean Martin kind of tune is almost non-existent in today's society. They're there, but we don't have the money to cover that. And while we're talking about it, if someone's listening and wants to sponsor something like that, we'd be happy to accommodate them. But from a vocal standpoint, and even from the dancing perspective, we've had dancers, entertainers that do Italian folk dancing in the past, and that is a lost art. It's hard, it's difficult. We do reach out to our community, and they've helped us in the past, and I'm sure they're absolutely going to help us in the future. I think I'm talking to one guy that might be able to help us in the future as we move forward. But he understands the difficulties as well, getting people and these volunteers lined up at spring break on top of everything else. So some of the local stuff that we would really love to have gets a little impeded because, life. Family vacations. People are taking their kids out and doing things and enjoying their time off, and we don't hold that against anybody. We actually hope that if they're on vacation this week, they come enjoy it with us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, it sounds like you've got more going on this year. So you talked about a bigger, more expansive festival. How hard is it to get the facility? And let's talk about where this is going to be held at, and maybe what any differences between how it was ran last year and this year, maybe logistically speaking.
Yeah.
Parking and all the rest of it.
Well, the parking is something that has definitely been adjusted this year, and that was something we really wanted to look at. But we'll start with where it's at. We've had this festival here every year with the exception of 1 year. Because in that year there was some maintenance activities happening in this building specifically that required us to go off-site. The city's been a huge benefit to us. The Dickinson Management District and the Dickinson Economic Development Corporation have both been instrumental in assisting us in making sure that we have a place to do the festival. We do it here at City Hall with the library because across the street we've got a parking spot that is being provided to us free of charge. With that said, there are hazards to bringing people onto this site because of the proximity to 517 and Highway 3 and having to bring people across the road. So every year, working around those risks has been our biggest obstacle. We have very strategic planning meetings with the city police, the city itself, and coordinate the efforts of shutting down certain areas so that we can do this safely. And we know that that's probably not going to be sustainable for eternity. So we have started looking at different locations for future opportunities. We've got a few in mind. I'll keep that card in my back pocket. We won't share that just yet, but as of right now, the city's doing an amazing job helping us. And for transportation purposes this year, I've been looking at the weather, tracking it. We have to be diligent about it, because if it rains, the parking area that we would want to use could become inaccessible. So we do have a plan. The Dickinson ISD administrative building is our go-to currently for parking for handicapped, VIP, our speakers. We're going to have them all shuttled over. We have a bus that will be running, 2 of them as a matter of fact, that will run from the administration building to this facility here. And it's free of charge. There's no cost for that to our participants and to the people attending the festival. If someone wants to park there and take that bus over, they're more than welcome if they don't want to deal with the parking across the street. If it's inclement weather, we're going to request all people park there anyway. And I'll have signs laid out so people can see where to go for handicapped, for the VIP guests, for everybody in general. But so primary parking across the street, alternative parking at the Dickinson Independent School District Administration Building. And again, free of charge. This festival is free to everybody, and we want to keep it that way.
Okay. And so we talked about VIP tents and general admission and all the rest. What are there any fees associated with attending?
No, not at all. Again, this is our goal, is to keep this free.
Right.
We want to share our history and our love for our culture. And most importantly, if we made this something that was a cost driver for people, we wouldn't get the turnout that we do. We also want other communities within the Dickinson and Galveston County area to take a look at what we're doing and go, if they can do it for free, why don't we try it too? We're not the only cultural group in the area, and use us as a model. Come in and ask us how to do it. I'll be glad to sit down with anybody and talk to them how we put this festival together. It requires a dedicated group of people, but ultimately it's a community outreach program. We have so many people here in this community that are willing to help, from the city management to just local citizens. It's a good group of people. We've got a good core here, and I know that every other culture in this community would have the same opportunity that we do.
So for people who aren't familiar with maybe an Italian festival or Italian culture in general, maybe that's not their culture, or even if it is, maybe they've never explored their culture before, what might they experience?
Good question. So we have specifically one area dedicated to family heritage, first of all, because it is an Italian festival, and we have a huge amount of Italian people that are still tied to this area. So we have a family heritage section that'll be inside City Hall, open to the public, and we encourage everybody that comes to this festival to take a walk through there. We've got boards set up with pictures and information regarding the families, the core families that founded this town, that were part of the initial turn of the century settlement of Dickinson itself. And it talks about what they did, from car dealerships, shoe shops, drugstores, casinos, a little bit of everything, restaurants. So we were tied into a lot of the first water district, the first water well in the Galveston County, Water District 1, right here in Dickinson, was founded and created and established by the Italians in this community. They just happen to be named Falco. So I'm kind of happy to hear, that I can share that piece of it with you. But so we want to educate people on who these families were, what they did economically to this community, and how they helped it grow. On top of that, in City Hall, in another chamber, there are going to be 6 or 7 guest speakers that are coming in specifically to talk about the Italians' influence on this community, how this land grant that was created this small Italian community was established. Members of the Italian consulate in Houston and in Italy are going to be live in that room on a two-way conversation for a good hour and a half of the conversation. So we have historians, We have members of the Italian consulate. We have members of our community here that are going to talk about their experiences, the Italian culture, and how it all ties all this together. So it's an educational opportunity for anybody interested in learning a little bit more about it.
Okay, so you talked about expenses running a festival. Everyone, even if someone that's maybe never ran a festival before or even been involved, knows that these things don't just spring up out of the ground. How do you run this?
Man, I tell you, by generous donations, a lot of sweat equity. You can hear my voice shift, I'm sure, because our core board members, even though we get a lot of donations, I say a lot of donations, it's donations in kind. Sometimes it's a service that they're providing to us. We like those just as much as we like the monetary donations. But we do reach out and get corporate sponsorships. And if they go to our website at DickinsonItalianFestival.org, it says sponsors. You can click on the link and it shows you exactly how to become a sponsor and what it gives you to be a sponsor. Our sponsors for the festival will get VIP treatment. They get to eat in our VIP tent. But those sponsorships are leveled. There's many tiers to it. You can be a $250 sponsor, or you can be a $5,000 or greater sponsor, depending on how it works out. We don't have a lot of $5,000 sponsors. We would love to have that problem. So what happens in the interim is these board members, guys like me, the Charles Emmets, the Rebecca Jimfertones, the Chris Browns, the Conchettas, the Carlo Falcos, we come out of our own pocket sometimes for the love of what we do, and that can be anywhere from a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s each year that we put in ourselves to help keep this festival a cost-free enjoyment opportunity for the public. It takes a lot of money to put these festivals on, and every year there's always obstacles. The economy. Everybody says it's the economy. Well, it is. It's difficult. People don't have a lot of money to just throw out there. So we lean heavily into businesses that are successful in this community who've been here for years. The McCree Fords, the Gay Pontiacs, the Del Papas, local businesses, small businesses, whether it's the Gulf Coast Racetrack that's on the corner, if it's Gators Bar, there are corporate quality printing. There's just little small groups, pockets of businesses that extend a helping hand to us, and we couldn't be happier about that.
So general information, let's go over dates, times, more information.
Sure.
If people want to volunteer as well.
Yeah, day of festival is where we're at now for volunteers. We will have a large contingency of high school kids here that are helping, and without them, my gosh, we would not be able to put this festival on because we have over 100 volunteers from the high school, and they are a labor source. Mm-hmm. Walking around making sure the trash is taken care of, helping get the signs put out, coordinating a lot of the different efforts that we have the morning of and the evening as we wind down, cleaning things back up and putting things back. But always looking for adult volunteers to come to our meeting, and we find a place for you. The adults are kind of the hinge pin. They're the ones that turn into committee members and committee chairs. And we have, I would at least say, 20 solid different committees that range from volunteer coordination, family heritage, the big things I talked about, grounds and maintenances, parking, the treasury tent. We've got things around the VIP coordination. There's so many different little items that we need adults to step into, and we would like to have them there year over year. That way there's some continuity and it's consistent and we get some fresh ideas. So the volunteer opportunities, huge, always there. Our next meeting, our last meeting for this year is coming not today, but next Wednesday, the 11th, I believe is the date, at 6:30, right here in the Dickinson Public Library. The festival itself is on March 14th, Saturday, starting at 10:30 in the morning, and will go till 6 p.m. Typically, we have an altar call. We have an altar to St. Joseph's, and that's one of the core foundations of our festival. is our St. Joseph's altar. We do the festival around the Feast of St. Joseph's every year. So in our altar to St. Joseph's, we will have it blessed. Typically, that'll happen about 10 o'clock in the morning. That's a big event. We hold a quick moment of prayer, and then we have the blessing, and then we open the festival up. So that's the start of it. And at the end of it, we'll shut it down with another prayer and thank everybody for their attendance. One thing I did fail to mention, you talk about difficulties and how this thing grows and how we generate some revenue. One of the biggest pieces of revenue generation day of the festival that we have is our auction. We have a live auction. That live auction will be here in the library, and it's a small room that we have our committee meetings in. And Jim Hinton, amazing guy, he's our auction coordinator, done a phenomenal job. But again, he's a one-man show, and anybody looking to assist us that have items that they would like to donate, what we are currently looking for, baseball tickets, football tickets, rodeo passes, things of that nature that we're not looking for the home run stuff. We're not looking for $2,000 and $3,000 items to auction off, because honestly, people don't come to these events to spend that kind of money. They want to come in and spend $50, $60, $120, maybe $200 and call it good. That's what we're looking for. We want this affordable for everybody as well. I know, and I tell this story a couple times at different charitable events. People get a little frustrated. They'll bring in some great items, jewelry, Marc Jacobs or something really nice that they'll put on the table, and they ask people to bid for it, and somebody walks up and offers $10 on a $350 item. It's not a garage sale. Mm-hmm. We are here to make money. So we hope that people understand that, and that's why we want to lower the dollar value of the items that people are looking to bid on, so that we're not offending anybody. Because if it doesn't get somewhere close to the dollar value of it, we're going to take it off the table. I mean, it doesn't make good sense to just throw something away. We want it. These items are typically for people to encourage people to help participate in the festival. And it's not just a garage sale of sorts. It is an auction for us to help build funds for future endeavors.
Okay. So, Mike, if people want to find out more information on the festival, where's the best place for them to do that?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, our website. We've got them all covered. We've got an amazing social media coordinator who puts us out there every day. You can find our Facebook page. It's Dickinson Little League Festival of Galveston County. It's on Facebook. It's easy to find. Our website, DickinsonItalianFestival.org. Great resource. It talks about some of the things that we do that are the unspoken drivers. One of the things that I haven't mentioned yet is why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. What are we giving back to the community? We give away scholarships every year. We're giving away 5 scholarships this year to 5 amazing students from the Galveston County schools in this area. That's one of our drivers. We want to give back and help this community with their growth. And these students are part of that. So those little things, if you want to go to and see who our past winners were, go to the website. And we've got a section dedicated to just our scholarship awardees. Again, we got 5 amazing recipients this year, and we want to grow that. We would love to see it one year we could give out 10, but unfortunately, it is what it is. We've given out, I want to guess, somewhere in the last 7 years, if you figure $1,000 at a pop, we've given out $35,000, $40,000 in scholarships. So that's a big piece of it. So our St. Joseph's altar, our scholarships, and then we also assist with the community. We've got 9 to 10 not-for-profit organizations who have booths that will be set up here at this festival that we do not charge a dime to. Vendor fees are typically $95 for a vendor to set up, because we typically understand they're coming here to sell. The not-for-profits are not. They're here to get the word out, to assist, to help. That's the whole thing behind the not-for-profit organizations. So we treat them just like us. We bring them in, we allow them to set up and put information out there to the public. Hopefully it's a help to them. But we've got 10 this year, 9 to 10, I believe, that we're going to be coordinating and working through. So nonprofit outreach, scholarships, St. Joseph's Altar, and probably the last piece of this is we also try to work with work directly with some of the nonprofits in the community, whether it's M.I. Lewis, the Dickinson Historical Foundation. We have done work with each of those organizations in the past, and we've got plans to continue to do that as we grow.
If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting our effort to share the news in print and on our extensive website, and now on our new YouTube channel. Contact publisher David Day at area code 409-943-4265 to support the Post newspaper today.